Okay, so you have been assigned to request 5 testimonials. So I just want to do a quick overview on how you can do this on LinkedIn. You do have access to that template. That template works really well for email requests. Now, if you are going to utilize LinkedIn to request testimonials, there's a tad different process. And so I just want to walk you through that here. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so when you log into LinkedIn, you're going to see your feed here. You see all your chats over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go view my profile. Now, I encourage you to really build out a LinkedIn profile. It doesn't need to be super long as far as like how far you go back in your experience. So you can go back like 2 years if you want. Like, really, it's a great networking platform for VAs because there's a lot of professionals on here who are starting to work remotely. Now, when I say that work preference, people prefer to work remotely now. Their preference for that is growing every single year. And so being able to network on LinkedIn is really just going to be something that you keep in the back of your pocket, and it could really benefit you in the long run. So what I'm going to do is go down here to recommendations. And if you click this plus sign, you're going to ask for a recommendation. Now you're going to type in who you want to ask for a recommendation from. So this is where you're going to put that coworker, that former supervisor, or that volunteer coordinator who you volunteered for, whoever it is, and put them right there. And then I'm going to select, like, how do I know this person? They're a client of yours, so you can, once you work with a client, this is a great way to receive reviews as well. Let's see, I'm going to say I worked with Danielle, but at different companies. And then it's going to ask you like the positions that you listed, and it should put all of your volunteer positions in here as well. But you're going to pick one that's where you worked with this individual. LinkedIn provides a very brief 1-sentence here on how to request this recommendation. I personally would add a little bit to this. So you're going to be like, I absolutely loved working with you, and kind of like, give some positive feedback here. Let them know how this recommendation would help you further, the work you're doing. What you could do is still use that template that we provided here, just make it a little bit shorter. We don't need to give them quite as much information in this request. And then I'm going to hit send. I'm not going to do this. This is actually my best friend, so I did not work with her, so I don't want her to provide a recommendation that's not true. But then as recommendations come in, you are going to see them pop up here in your profile. So one thing you can do is you can just copy and paste this into social media content or your portfolio. If you eventually do have a website, you can use these on a website. You can also do screenshots of these. There's different ways to use this. The great thing about LinkedIn referrals is that when people come to your LinkedIn profile, they can see and click on the person that gave you the recommendation. So it validates like, oh, wow, like, this guy owns a recruiting company. And he gave her a recommendation, and it's a great recommendation. So it just makes them validate the referral you received even better. So I highly encourage you, as much as possible, with these 5 testimonials or referrals or recommendations that you are requesting, try to do them in LinkedIn. If the person's not on LinkedIn, that is fine. However, you cannot add your own on here. It only shows up if they submit it for your profile, which is just, again, why it validates this information so much. So just wanted to give you guys a quick overview on how you do this on LinkedIn.